Girl, did Azealia Banks just call out Ice Spice for being fake? So a few days after Ice Spice unveiled the album art to her upcoming album Y2K, Azealia Banks left no crumbs as dragged Ice Spice over her album cover, calling her phony and fake to her fans. And y'all won't believe how Ice Spice responded to Azealia. See, one thing about Azealia Banks is, apart from being a very amazing musician and rapper, she is one of the few people who could be considered controversial because she is never scared of speaking her mind. The past few weeks have been eventful for her as she has called out A$AP Rocky, Rihanna, and a few artists, but then a few days ago, she called out Ice Spice on her Instagram story, mocking her and her team for being fake and phony. See, I'm not gonna lie, the past couple of weeks have been tough for Ice Spice. First, she was called out by the Barbs for cosplaying and copying Nicki Minaj's style. See, the Barbs initially don't have a problem with Ice Spice bidding Nicki Minaj's style, as they claim it's a testament to Nicki's greatness, but however, things changed when Ice Spice involved herself in the fight between TikTok influencer Raymonte on Twitter. At the end of the conversation, she shared a photo, she and Nicki Minaj's biggest op, Cardi B, at end of tweets, and yeah, it pissed a lot of Barbs off. And yeah, a lot of Barbs make up Ice Spice fans, and posting a photo with Cardi B pissed Barbs off, and the decision to post the picture between her and Cardi B affected her numbers, because a month have she posted photo with Cardi B, lost a huge chunk of her Spotify listener, as she went from 35 million monthly listeners to 18 million listeners in just 2 months. Ice Spice announced her debut album Y2K was dropping on the 26th of July 2024, but then don't get me wrong, I think her team is doing a terrible job for the album rollout. Firstly, I think Ice Spice, who has not been in the industry for a long time, has no business getting into a beef weeks before your debut album is dropping. And while y'all can say she needs her name everywhere, taking an L in a rap beef can affect your album sales. A few days ago, Latto posted this photo of a cake with poop motif on her social media pages to celebrate being the featured artist on this year's Hot 107.9 birthday bash in Atlanta. And in the caption of the photo, she said, "Think I'm the shit, girl?" Well, we all know the post was referring to Ice Spice's song Think You the ST, which we all know is a diss to Latto. We all saw how Cardi sleekly avoided going into a beef with Bia by threatening her with a lawsuit after Bia dropped a dirty diss at her. While we know Cardi is not one of the female rappers that would run from any fight, her album is dropping in a few weeks too, and the last thing she wants for her brand is a distraction from her media rollout, and most importantly, she wouldn't want to risk taking an L in a rap beef because it would take a toll on her album sales. So a few days after announcing she would be dropping her first music album, Ice Spice premiered her album cover and also announced she would be going on tour. So her album would be dropped while she on tour, and in my opinion, I really don't think that is a good idea, because the album is supposed to be her debut album, and it would make perfect sense for her to drop the album and probably wait a few weeks for her fans to soak it up before she hits the road. While Ice Spice is currently in her album rollout mode, Azealia Banks has called her out for being fake and phony and not portraying Y2K as her album cover says. Azealia said, "Somebody needs to tell Ice Spice that absolutely nothing about this aesthetically, performance-wise, and production-wise is Y2K at all," Banks wrote on her Instagram story. "This is like VIM, early Nicki Minaj pack weave. We need a new hair color and a new facial expression. Ice, I love you down, but you should press the halt button, drop David LaChapelle, and redo this. Big butts and BBL bodies are the antithesis of Y2K. In subsequent posts, Azealia shared what she believed were more accurate depictions of the era. The images included the cover for Liz's Planet Y2K, Jennifer Lopez's If You Had My Love music video, and the artwork for TLC's fan mail. Then she gave Ice Spice and her team some history lessons. She said, "Baby fat sidekicks were 2002 and on. Y2K is 1997 to 2001. Azealia wasn't done mocking Ice Spice. As she continued mocking her on Twitter, she said, "These kids really are not understanding the Y2K assignment. Sidekicks are not Y2K. Weird Delia's clothes, Candy's shoes, and baby fat are not Y2K. Y2K is a digital aesthetic featuring blue-gray brushed steel textures, cyan, pale, pea green, dark white textiles." She continued, "Fresh face, no makeup beauty, slim, slender, toned, athletic physiques, liquid metal and translucent overlays, understated and minimal fonts, texts, and an overall cyberism that doesn't include any of the ghetto y'all kids are calling Y2K, has to be the most flop attempt at generational cultural recycling in the history of mankind. For those that might not be aware, the Y2K late 90s to the mid 2000s and was typified by scarf tops, bootcut jeans, velour tracksuits, pastels, metallics, cowl necks, pedal pushers, aka capri pants, and showy accessories from furry bucket hats and trucker caps to bowling bags and butterfly clips. Responding to Azealia Banks' criticism, Ice Spice took to Twitter and said, "David LaChapelle is Dari Y2K. So sweet plus legendary. He didn't even charge me cuss. He with a real. Thank you for all the incredible art you've put out through the years. This cover means everything to me. And yes, Y2K was placed on the trash can on purpose can. You guess why? So while Ice Spice was getting dragged for having the name of her album written on a trash can, a fan gave it a few Photoshop modifications. He removed the Y2K from the trash can and had it on the wall like graffiti, and if we are being honest, the fan made it look better. Ice Spice went into full defensive mode as she dug up the fan cosplaying as Mariah Carey's Rainbow album cover, and she added the caption, "You thought you made this better too, Delulu." Well, if we are being honest, Ice Spice not agreeing with the fan meant she wanted the album cover to get people talking before the album drops. So here's the thing, while everyone dragged Ice Spice for the album cover, the photographer and designer of the album, David LaChapelle, was spared because he has worked with a lot of A-listers like Eminem, Travis Scott, Naomi Campbell, and Megan Thee Stallion, so his previous works could speak for his brilliance, and yeah, fans believe this whole Y2K thing was straight out of Ice Spice's creative thoughts. Azealia Banks, coming for Ice Spice for being fake and phony, had fans talking, and they left comments saying, "I hate when y'all make me agree with Azealia Banks. If you were born after Zorro 5, please stay the out of the Y2K conversation. I don't really too much care for Azealia, but she's kind of right on this reference." I was kind of thinking that the Y2K look that this gen has accepted is totally different from what it's supposed to be. Azealia Banks giving the children an accurate lesson in Y2K aesthetics. J-Lo, Aaliyah, and TLC visually and musically represented this era so well. Their music videos from this time are literal time capsules. So do you think Ice Spice really embodied the Y2K fashion? Or do you think Azealia is wrong in mocking her? Let me know what you think in the comments, then check out this next video.